Hey, Rob here. How you doing? So we got our conversions all set up. So we're gonna say build. We're gonna build our campaign now. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna click on Google Ads up here, and let's go to all campaigns, and then we're going down here to this blue circle with the plus sign, and this we're gonna click it, and it's gonna allow us to build a new campaign. All right. So we go down here, and we're just gonna click New Campaign. Now, it's going to give us some options here. And these are kind of like some preset things. Um, and you can use these. I'm going to suggest you don't, because what it'll do is what Google's trying to do is they're trying to make this a little bit simpler and easier for people. And so what they'll do is they'll take away some of the options. And you may or may not want those options. But I'm going to suggest that you start down here with create campaign without goal guidance. And I'm going to walk through every step of the way, so don't worry about, that you don't have guidance. And then after you do a couple on your own, if you want to go back and try one of these other ones, then certainly do it. But at first, let's do it without guidance so that we have access to all the tools. Now, it's going to give us some other options down here. And the one we want is search. So this is create text or call ads that show near search results of google.com on Google search partner sites, etc. All right. So we don't want to do display ads. Okay. We don't want to do shopping because that's just not applicable. Video, universal apps. So the reason why we do search and why we don't want to do displays is because we want to be on Google, right? So display is like a lot of other networks that are partners with Google, but most people are going to be here. So we want to be where most people are going to be. This is kind of like the 80-20 rule. We want to be in that 20% that's going to get 80% of the results. So let's click on search. All right. This is going to ask us, do we want websites, phone calls, apps, downloads? We're going to go for website visits because we're going to try to drive them to a website to get their contact information. Now you may say, but I just want them to call me. And that's fine. But actually, when we set this ad up, we're going to make it so it's going to make it very easy for them to call straight from your ad. But just in case they don't, if they click on your ad, we want to send them to a website or have the option to send them to a website so that we can collect their contact information. All right. Because really, as much as it might be cool for them to call you, and there's so many things that can happen. They call you and all of a sudden you don't answer by the second ring, so they hang up or they get cold feet or they're indecisive, or you're not there, or they call after business hours, whatever. A phone call, there's one good thing come out of a phone call, you get a client, but there's a lot of negatives. But if you get their contact information, this is where the gold is, because now you can follow up with them, you can communicate with them, and you can build a relationship with them. It's going to increase the odds of them when you become a client. So we're going to click that. We're going to click continue, pardon me. And it should move on. Why are you not moving on? There we go. Okay, so let me pull up my notes here real quick. Okay, so campaign name. So we're going to call this, we're just going to call this auto accidents, okay? And this is just for your reference. No one's going to see this but you. Now, we don't want the display networks, like I said earlier. We just want the Google search because that's where most people are going to be. So we're going to uncheck display networks. Oh, and you can call the campaign anything, right? That's just my suggestion. Okay, location. So now you have all countries and territories, United States and Canada, United States, enter another location. Unless you have offices like all across the country, you probably don't want the entire United States. So we're going to put enter other location. Now, you have different options. You could do, let's just say you want to do your entire state. So we could do Missouri, United States. And that's fine. And let's say we also want to do Illinois, right? So we can enter multiple states if we want. And then we say, you know what? No, we don't want to do Illinois. We're just going to stick with Missouri. All we got to do is come over here, click that X, and it'll take it off. Now we can also do advanced options. And I'm going to suggest this is probably where you're going to want to go. So this is showing us right now we are set up for Missouri. Now what we can do is we can do a radius, and what we're going to do is enter in an address. And if you start entering in, it should eventually pick up on the address. So the one I'm going to put in is 1110 Administration Drive, St. Louis. So I'm going to click on that. All right, and now it's showing us that radius. Now we can set it here down to as low as 1 mile if we want. And let's see, it's going to reduce our radius. Well, it will eventually reduce the radius if I save it. But let's say reasonably we're going to do a 15-mile radius. And let's say don't want to do the whole state of Missouri. So at this point, I'm just going to undo that and we'll save. Okay. Now, there's other things we can do in advance, right? If we want, we could enter in, let's see, we could enter in zip codes. Okay. So let's go 62134, I think, 135. Oop, that's France. Let's try that 66212. What does that come up with? China. All right, let's try this 62278. Okay, so here's a zip code. Down around Red Bend, Illinois, where I'm from. So anyway, so we can do zip codes. You can do multiple zip codes, right? 622 is another zip code, and then let's say we're going to do 62221, right? And then we're going to do 62220, right? So now we have zip codes all over the place. Okay, not that I'm suggesting you do all these weird zip codes. Oh, here's France again. Let's get rid of that. So, we got one down in New Orleans. We got one here. But anyway, you can enter in a lot of different zip codes if you want. But we're just going to stick with this radius. Now, we could also do counties, I'm pretty sure. Let's try this. St. Louis County. There it is. Well, that's Minnesota. St. Louis County, Missouri right here. Right? So now we're picking up the whole county of the St. Louis County. Right, but again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here. I'm going to edit this down to a 15-mile radius. I'm going to get rid of St. Clair County, and then let's do this again. 15. Oh, I didn't save it. I'm going to save. All right, there's my 15-mile radius. I'm going to save that again. So now we have it. And then I can enter more locations here if I want. But so you have a lot of options. So you pick the one that's best for you. English, unless you want to do another language, you can just leave it default to English. Budget. Now this is how much you want to spend a day. But you need to understand something. When you set a daily budget, Google looks at it as a monthly basis. So if I say, Google, I want to spend $10 a day, they go, oh, that's $300 in a month. So what'll happen is they may spend more on one day and less on another day. So as their logarithms start going, they may say, oh, look, we find that this, Wednesdays from 2 to 5 tend to produce more, so we're going to boost your budget a little bit more in there. So like on Wednesdays, maybe you spend, instead of spending $10, you spend $15. And then let's say that Sundays tend to be really slow, so maybe it only spends $5 on Sunday. So eventually, each day is going to be different as it adjusts the budget to try to get you the best results. But at the end of the month, they will cap it right at $300 or whatever whatever your budget was. So if it's $10 a day, it'll be about $300 for the month. Might be off a little bit, but it'll be really close to $300. If your budget's $20 a day, it might be be $600 for the month. Might be $580, could be $630, but it's going to be really close to $600. So so we're just going to pop in for right now. We're going to pop in $40 a day for the budget. All right. It's like delivery method. Do we want to keep that at standard? Now, accelerated means that they're just going to start. They're going to try to judge when they should spend the most, and so what'll happen is it doesn't get evenly spent. They just start accelerating to try to get more results, and tends to be a good thing for Google because you get more. They get more clicks, and that's where they make their money. But it's not always a good thing for you, and that you don't necessarily get leads, and that's really what you're looking for. So let's just keep that. We're just going to keep it in standard. We're not going to put accelerated. We want to focus on conversions is fine. We don't want to mess with that. Select bid strategy. Okay, select bid strategy directly. Here's where we want to go. We want to do, let's see, manual CPC. So what manual CPC does is it allows us to control the bid. Now, eventually we may change this. We may go to like a targeted CPA at some point. But to start off, we want to stay with manual CPC because, again, what Google does is that they tend to focus on more clicks because that's where they make their money. That's not always a good deal for you. So keep control and put manual CPC. You can always change it later. Okay, start and end dates. Don't necessarily need to mess with that. Audiences. Let me check my notes real quick here. Okay, we don't want to mess with audience. Site link extensions. Again, don't necessarily have to mess with that, but that just adds links to your ads, links to your website or whatnot. So like if you have, so let's say you have you're a mattress store, okay? And so you have one link that goes to a site for the traditional mattress. You have another link that goes to a site for a memory foam mattress, and you have one that goes to a site for an adjustable mattress. Maybe one for water beds, right? So you have different links to different sites within your website is typically the biggest use for that. But I found that site link extensions tend to reduce ad conversion for some reason. I think there's too many options that people get confused. So I'm going to suggest you don't mess with that. Call out extensions, okay? So we want to do call out extensions. And what call out extensions do is it basically adds more lines of text, and it makes your ad a little bit bigger, which is good because the bigger your ad, the more it stands out. And I found that bigger ads tend to get better results, okay? So what we're going to do is we can enter, they say at least 2. I'm going to suggest you do 4, and then Google kind of mixes them up so your ad kind of is a little bit fresh if somebody comes back to it. So what you want to do, so what typically I like to do is I like to say the area that we're serving, right? So St. Louis, Mo, or we could say, St. Louis, Mo. Now you're limited to how many characters you can have, so you can't do a whole lot. Then usually gives us the, okay, I'm sorry. Got to start here. We got to first click new call out extension. Now we put it in text, okay? We can see right here, it tells us how many characters we have. So we're going to put serving St. Louis, Mo, and let's just put St. Louis, Missouri area. All right, so it's 25 on the nosy. And then we'll put 15 years experience. Maybe we're going to put, free consultations. And then sometimes if you put, local to St. Louis, or if you want to put located in, Clayton, Missouri, which is which is like the county seat for St. Louis County, and that's where a lot of lawyers are in the area. But so anyway, so you have these, and then And then we don't necessarily, I don't think we need to mess with advanced options. Okay, sorry, we do. So what we want to do is we want to put device preference on mobile. Now it'll also show on desktops too. But since more and more people are going to mobile, we definitely want to be in mobile. And people people are more inclined to click on an ad on a mobile device than they are a desktop device for some reason. Pardon me. So if Google has a choice, like so our budget's coming low, and they say, well, we're not going to show it on both mobile and desktop. We want to say, okay, then show it on mobile first, right? Give the preference to mobile. Okay, ad schedule. Here's what I like to do is to break this out into 4-hour chunks, because what it does is when you do that, it gives you, as you start looking at it later and doing things, you may see like, oh wow, Mondays from noon to 6 are my highest performing times. Basically from 2 in the morning till 6 in the morning, we get nothing. So now you can start adjusting your times to get more out of your campaign. So we just, like I say, just go through here. Keep this on all days. I mean, you can do it, Monday through Friday, Saturday, but just, unless you just don't want people to see your ads like on Saturdays and Sundays. But my guess is go ahead and run it all the time, and then just break this out in 4-hour chunks. And I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just pause this while I finish filling this out. Boom. And I'll be right back here. Okay, so I got them all but the last one filled out. And I just want to show you, start filling out to add a new time, just go here and add schedule. And I'm up to 8 p.m., so I just want to come here and go back to, there we are, 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. So now we're going from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m., 4 to 8, so forth, so in 4-hour chunks. And we got that, so we can save that. And then the last thing I want to do is we got our 4 ad extensions here. I want to do call extensions. And so this is where you're going to add your mobile number, okay? And they're going to show you, I'm sorry, not your mobile number, whatever number it is you want them to call. And you will put in what the phone number you want them to call. So you got to come down here. It's kind of funky how Google does this, but you got to come down here and you want to hit a new call extension, and then keep call reporting on, so it'll show up in your matrix, so that you can see how it's converting. And so then it shows us right here how to enter the phone number. And I think what we had was 888 555 5555. Okay, so now what'll happen is this phone number will show up in my ad, and so somebody on a mobile device can just click that number, just tap on it, and it will put the call right through. Let's see, is there anything we need in advanced options? Mobile device preference, start end date, ad schedule, we're fine. So let's save. And so we got one call extension, and we're going to hit save and continue. So everything's good. Boom. And so this should take us into where we can start creating our ad group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, and we'll do another video on setting up our ad groups and our ads. So I will see you in the next video. Catch you on the flip side. Go crush it.